All right, we're back. This is page 31 of math analysis. We are on the last page of notes 3. And if you look at this page, it's really intimidating. So it says, we're going to find the trig functions at the quote unquote good angles. Fill in using the best strategy you can come up with. But there's a hint that says it's probably not to go by rows. So what the? I've never made that happen before. Oh, look at that. I can like resize this. That's, oh my God, what? Whoa. I don't know what was going on there. That was pretty interesting though. It's probably not to go by rows. Okay, so let's look at the chart and get a sense of it before we just dive in. So it's basically just, you have all of the famous angles, but they're written in degrees, which is horrible because no one ever really thinks in degrees. So the first thing we gotta do is maybe convert them to radians. Now here's what I would encourage. Look at the angles, they're in order, right? Which means it's basically the unit circle, but kind of like laid out in table form. So, you know, you go 0, then you go to pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3. So I think that what we can do is think about going around the circle. But as we do that, just kind of like list down the rows of the table, I think. So here's what I mean by that. So radians, 0 radians. What's next on the circle? Pi over 6. What's next? Pi over 4. Pi over 3. Pi over 2. Keep going. 2 pi over 3. 3 pi over 4. 5 pi over 6. Pi. Got to keep scrolling. 7 pi over 6. 5 pi over 4. 4 pi over 3. 3 pi over 2. Okay. 5 pi over 3. 7 pi over 4. 11 pi over 6. And then 2 pi. So if we go by column, I think this is going to be easier. So now, think about the sine values, right? I know, picture the circle. I know that when I'm at 0 radians or 0 degrees, doesn't really matter. I'm at the ordered pair 1, 0. So sine is 0. So I'm going to start with 0. And now, you're rotating counterclockwise, which means the y value starts increasing. So I'm just going to start listing them kind of in order, right? So we're going to go, what's the next one we know is 1/2, root 2 over 2, root 3 over 2, 1. Once you're at 1, you're at the top of the circle. The only place to go from there is down. So we're going to go back down in order. Root 3 over 2, root 2 over 2, 1/2, 0. Now, we're at like the left corner, if a circle has corners. We're at the left corner of the circle. We're going to keep moving down because we're still going counterclockwise, which means just go in order. Negative 1/2, negative root 2 over 2, negative root 3 over 2, negative 1. We've hit the bottom of the circle. From the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. So we're going to go in order, though. And then finally, we get to 0 again, which is coterminal. So 2 pi is coterminal to 0, so the sine of 2 pi and the sine of 0 are going to be the same. We can do the same thing with x. Okay, so at 0, you are at the farthest right you'll ever go, which means you get the biggest possible x value, the biggest possible cosine, which is 1. If you're at the biggest, there's nothing you can do but get smaller, but you do it in order. Root 3 over 2, root 2 over 2, hit 0. Just keep going. You're going counterclockwise around the circle, so keep going in order. You hit the smallest possible cosine you will ever have, which is at pi. And you can also, like if you keep adding to that, adding 2 pi to pi, you'll keep getting negative 1 again. But the smallest value you'll ever get out of cosine is negative 1. You can get it in an infinite number of ways, but you'll only ever get negative 1 as your minimum. So now you're just going to get bigger. So do it in order. Here, here, here. We've hit 0. We're going to keep getting bigger. There you go. Okay. Tangents. Basically, I have tangents memorized. So, or you can do sine over cosine, like it's your call. So this will be 0. So pi over 6, I know. So pi over 6 has the nice sine value and the ugly tangent value. It's how I remember it. It's not the best way, but maybe it is the best way. Who knows? uh-oh, I gotta get out and get back in. Hold on. Okay. If the tangent of pi over 6 is root 3 over 3, so pi over 3 has to be root 3. Also, pi over 3 has an ugly sine and a nice looking tangent. It's not like 1 is clearly the best looking tangent, but you know, that's how I remember it. Sine over cosine. Sine is 1, cosine is 0. This does not exist. And then we'll just keep going. So root 3, negative 1, root 3 over 3, get 0 again, get positive root 3 over 3. So right now we're in quadrant 3, so all the tangents are going to be positive. Then 3 pi over 2 doesn't exist again, sine over cosine. Quadrant 4, we'll get negatives. And then we get back to 0, where the tangent is 0. Well, we really get to 2 pi, but I think that is getting back to 0. Now for the other columns, I'm literally just going to flip things over. So I'm looking at the sine, but I'm flipping them. So here we go. This will be undefined 2, root 2, because for some reason we rationalize that. 2 over root 3. Doesn't look any better, so you don't rationalize it. 2 over root 3. Root 2 you do rationalize. 2, can't divide by 0. Negative 2, negative root 2, we rationalize for some reason. Negative 2 over root 3, negative 1. Negative 2 over root 3, rationalize this one. Negative 2, can't divide by 0. All right, and then let's finish this. So it's going to be the same kind of deal. Reciprocal, don't rationalize, rationalize, reciprocal, can't divide by 0. Reciprocal, rationalize, just reciprocal. Negative 1, negative 2 over root 3. Rationalize this one. I don't know why you'd ever have to fill in this chart, to be honest. Can't divide by 0, 2, root 2, because we rationalize that one. This one's 2 over root 3, because we don't. And you just get 1. All right, so that should, assuming I went down the right column, yeah, I think that worked. And now, cotangents, and then we're done. So can't divide by 0. We rationalize 1, root 3 over 3. Now the reciprocal of undefined is going to be 0, right? Because it's undefined because you're trying to divide by 0. So when you take the reciprocal, you put that 0 in the numerator. If 0 is in the numerator, also if you were just watching, I don't know, rewind and see if the video does this. It like slowed down for a while, and I looked really weird when I was saying that. All right, rationalize. We're so close. Rationalize. Actually, I guess you rationalize all these. Can't divide by 0. Am I doing the right column? I hope so. Rationalize. Rationalize. I don't remember saying rationalize as often on any of the other ones. The reciprocal of undefined is 0. Rationalize. Nothing. Rationalize. And you can't divide by 0. Whew. Okay. So, assuming I was looking at the right column, got it. If I wasn't looking at the right columns, they're all wrong. But anyway, like I said, I don't know why you would have to fill in this whole chart, but you can, based on all the things you know, and that's kind of amazing. This chart is really just the unit circle written in chart form. And for some stupid reason, it starts with degrees instead of radians, when radians are just so much better. But anyway, I'm gonna end this here, come back in the next video and do some more. So I will see you there.